Northwestern game, offensively, three guys with some effort we thought was good. Westbrook in the perimeter, Divine Redding and Devontae Williams made some plays that we liked. Again, lack of touchdowns, crossing midfield, went 3 and out twice into the first half. Gave them a chance to get a field goal at the end. After a block punt, we go 4 and out. They made 2 really nice plays on interception. I don't know if those balls were horribly thrown. One I actually thought was going to be a touchdown, and the spin of the ball kind of brought it back to the DB on a deep post route. But good play by the one kid. Not the great play, the other play. The first one actually had a chance to be a big play for us. We just missed the throw. So again, a lot of work to do offensively. Getting the line, tight ends, run game going. Got a quarterback playing better. Defensively, a really good game by Niall Sykes. Had 2 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. 82%. Needs to play like that more often. That's been there. He's a very inconsistent practice guy. But when he wants to, and he's home, and we've challenged him. I don't think anyone here is surprised. It was really good. Our team needs that. It needs to continue to be more consistent in his preparation and daily habits, because he's got some talent and some speed on the edge that sometimes we lack and need. That was great to see. Great performance. Michael Barwick played really well. 2 tackles, 1 assist, 1 sack, 1 hurry. I think he had 32 snaps. The guys, kind of one of those rotating guys that's kind of giving us, like we said a week ago, that D-line is by committee, playing very, very hard and doing a really strong job. And Michael played his best game. Most snaps he had played in his best game. T. Scales, 10 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, quarterback pressure. Those 3 guys on defense, no one in the perimeter. Probably didn't play as well as we had played at corner and safety. Not horrible, but needs to be better. Did have a good show from Damian Willis. Didn't play as much as Barwick, but coming in, kind of spot playing and helping out with Marcus Oliver. It's good to see him. It was his best showing. We'd like to see him grow with that. Our defense had 11 tackles for loss and 3 sacks, which was good. They only had 5 conversions out of 17 third downs. They had 1 in the second half. One of those, that was actually a reviewable one. Even on the review, I still don't know if he got to the line, but whatever they gave it to him, that was the one they got in the second half. So I really liked the way our defensive guys had the third down stops. They kept us in the game in the second quarter when they had the fake field goal drive and holding them to 3, because that game could have got 35-3 if we're not careful. So the defense really battled, and even though they did some bending right there, I think a part of our problem early, and Northwestern historically had always, each week, not a new wrinkle, but the way they're going to attack you. You watch how they play Michigan State. You watch how they play the weeks before against Nebraska. And you watch the games, Iowa. How do they attack? Like a lot of we do the same thing offensively. Hey, what's your setup and what plays get featured? I think the offense's inability to get going early really hurt the defense. I don't think our defense had time to make the adjustments. We go quick 3 and out. They score, and then we go quick 3 and out. And they score again. We go another quick 3 and out. I think once we got the adjustments into the second quarter and the offense got going, it really helped the defense. So I think the offense's ineptness early really led to them getting up 21-3. 2 weeks ago, it was 17-0. Wasn't 21-3 at the end of the first quarter, but it was right out the gate in the second quarter. So we're down 3 scores in our last 2 games out the gate, and we're playing catch-up. We can't do that. And Maryland comes in. I think they've scored 54 points in the first quarter and given up 10, or 52, giving up 14, something like that. So Maryland coming in as a very good first quarter team, and we have a trend of starting, we tell our team all the time, ESPN Classics, they show all the come from behind games because that don't happen a lot. That's why they show all those great come from behinds, because when you get behind, we tell our students, when you start off with a bad first semester, it's hard to have a great GPA. You win most games when you win the first. Everybody talks about the fourth quarter, but when you get off to a good start. So we'll keep addressing that. We got to get that figured out. It's hurt us for sure the last couple weeks in a row. But again, really like the resolve in the defense. The thing that got the defense, they had 3 dropped interceptions, 2 of which led to 10 points. One's the second play of the game. Drop pick right before the half in the end zone. And then we had another dropped interception. So they make 2 great interceptions on great physical one-on-one plays. We got a chance to make the play 3 times. Don't. That's a 10-point swing with points they got. I think we're thinking a little too much. We got to start a little bit faster. We'll move forward with that. Our players of the game, Westbrook on offense, combination of Scales and Niall Sykes, T. Gray and Niall on defense. Ricky Jones on a cover team, made a couple great tackles, the block punt, 2 great tackles on kickoff cover, good as a senior. all the catches he's playing. But again, the guys want to get a chance to have an NFL look. You got to be good on special teams. So for him to show up as a senior, and the year's not going the way he drew it up, and here's a guy playing well, that's a great sign. Jacob Attar, Johnny Albemonte, and Gavin Everett were our scout defensive players, our look guys, as was Danny Cameron, Trevor Stover, and Ryan Watercutter. Maryland comes in playing solid at 5-2, really good, running the ball well. I think one of the running backs is over 10 yards a carry. Another running back over 7 yards a carry. Perry Hill's a quarterback, runs it well. He's the third leading rusher. They're throwing it well. Coach Durkin's background is defense, very aggressive and challenging in what they do, and again, got a lot of energy. They're off to a really good start. It'll be a good challenge. It'll be a great challenge. Our team has struggled. We're 1-3 in conference play. We've dropped, 3 in a row now, and we got to get back on track here at home. So tough challenge, tough game. Off to a good start with our week. Like the way the kids practiced last week. Don't like the way we started. We'll try to figure out that and get better. Hopefully we'll have a better week because we'll need one to move forward and get a victory.
Up some of the snaps at quarterback this week, or are you moving forward full steam with Rich?
I mean, Rich, everything's open, but he's better. He's the guy.
Passing game more connected. And I know that it's partly the receivers as well have to run the correct routes. Is it just more attention to detail? How do you get that? So you get a little more efficiency in the passing game.
Well, it's, again, protection. I mean, it goes to run game. When you're one-dimensional running it, it's easy to tee off on the quarterback. It's easy to rush the pocket where your feet aren't as set. So to me, it all goes back to line of scrimmage play, tight end play, running back play, ability to run the ball. You got 4 weeks in a row where you run it for 60, 70, 80 yards. So when you're a one-dimensional team, you're easy to defend. So part of it, I think, is the defense mode. And we got to, again, find the ability to run the ball, because I think that will definitely, to me, when you do both, you're a lot easier. Northwestern ran the ball a little bit better than we did the other day. They ran for about 120. We ran for about 80. But their running game early in the first half, when their running game went away in the second half, they were pretty easy to defend. We held them to 31 yards. But when they had the run game, they had 380 yards. So if we find some run game, the pass game's easy. When you can't throw it, it's hard to run, and when you can't run, it's hard to throw. If we can get both going, we'll be a lot better. We got to keep fighting and pushing to do that.
As you were kind of able to review it with him, where do you think Dan kind of picked up where he left off before the injury, and where do you feel like maybe he needs to get?
He's okay. He missed a lot of time, he basically went, like we work out all summer, June and July, and then we have 29 practices. Well, you come off a concussion, he's got 5 weeks of standing around lightly jogging. So that's not a good formula to come out and play good. So he's got a long way to go to get his play back to what he's capable of. That's just the product of that injury. They have to totally shut you down. That gets you right. It's one thing to keep your conditioning level, but we go through 8 weeks of summer training, 4+ weeks of 29 practices to get you right. And so again, he did okay, but there's a lot of rust in there, and probably a lot of also self-confidence and some things. So he's a good player, and when he falls off, his play is still really good. But you can tell him being back in there, that running game really popped up to 80 yards. That made a big difference. He plays guard. I played guard. Anybody can play guard. I played guard. If you can't play guard, you're in the band. No disrespect to the band. I was in the band too, so don't get the band guys mad. I played the trumpet and the sousaphone. And I played that so I could get out of elementary 5th grade, and you got 1 hour to go. You didn't have to sit listen to the teacher in the 5th grade. So everybody volunteered to band, so you didn't have to sit there and pay attention for social studies. You got an hour out a couple of days a week.
To get him back, as you talk, especially about the young guys. He's playing next to Brandon, who's getting a lot of snaps there at right tackle now. Just having his presence back in the room with a guy like Coy, too.
Well, and to me, it's again, when they go through that injury deal, it's almost like, you're like get isolated. Like today, I heard him in our practice we did today, making some comments to the guys that were going on the field about better first steps. And so Jen, just his presence back out there. So whether it's physically, because he's standing beside B. Knight in the game, and he's standing up there with Wes, and they're talking as they're playing, which is not an extended conversation, or you're on the sideline and you're going through and you try to settle down, and what do you see and what do you think, and blah, blah, blah. But really just to be around in practice. Because again, the way that injury goes, you really get kind of removed from practice. And it's really hard. You're a team leader, so to me, it's just his presence in the locker room and his presence on the practice field, even more so than game day. He's always been a great practice player, but just getting him back and getting him in the flow. And we had him back the week before he played, kind of practice and not really full going. So we've kind of had him back 2 weeks with the team, and he's back 1 week playing. And he's got a 5-week run where I just think he needs to, for his self-confidence and self-worth, get his play back up. And that comes back to preparation, taking care of your body, having good practices, and playing well. But him being back is really, really good, probably more for practice and locker room than game day, because he has a great presence on our team.
You mentioned the slow starts with the offense. What do you think the reasoning is for that?
Slow start for defense, too, now. I mean, again, we had, last week we did some things early. We made an emphasis all week of the right rest, that we were really trying to hit the rack earlier because we knew it'd be on a Saturday. We went a little bit earlier on Friday than normal to get them up going, and for an early kick, we had a very extended, long morning session with them early at the hotel to get them up, get them out, get them awake. So from a preparation standpoint, I don't know what I changed, but from a performance standpoint, whether it be what we're doing play calling, I thought defensively, we got a little rattled. We didn't get a chance. I know I made a comment to coach in the game, you should blitz or do something because whatever's happening here, we're just sitting on our heels. And everybody's like, we're sitting back. We're not aggressive. Everybody over here on the sideline, you coaches are complaining. Calm down and get them going forward. I think the same thing offensively. What can we do to create some positive momentum of attack? So is that maybe as coaches, you don't realize it, but maybe you've coached enough. There's a little bit too much thinking early. And you got to be careful you don't simplify your plan and you're sitting ducks, and there's tendencies, and they know your runs, know your blitzes, and know your plays. But at the same time, even though they know it, if you don't know what you're doing, playing is fast. So, again, our practices have been always typically not too bad. Last week I thought was really good. We're off to a good start. As soon as we do it, I guess we do it well. I do like the way the guys have been practicing. I do believe it's going to transfer into winning and playing well. It's one thing, you sit around and you talk about it, you make the problem bigger than it is. But very few teams can dig holes and come out of it. And we got to quit digging ourselves a hole, for sure.
There was a hold against Maryland too. And you guys had lost 6 straight, many of those very competitive games. But you lost 6 straight, and you get down 21-3. Then you score 48 some straight points. I think. What did that team have that gave them the ability to do that? And can any of that translate to this team? A lot of the same, you got some of those players back.
Yeah, again, they made a couple plays early, popped a couple runs, if I recall. And then, we didn't look at that as much. A lot of times you go back and watch last year's game, but with the new coaching staff, it's kind of some different schemes. So it's a little bit more just watching this year's team. So I haven't really studied last year's game. I do think we had a really good drive. I think it was Mitchell made a crossing route on I think it was a 4th down play. And there's pressure in the face of the quarterback. Nate made a nice shot, got a touchdown, and we started clicking after that. So just one play, one injury. Kind of thought that had a chance to happen Saturday. It was 21-3. Like same deal. I thought we had a chance to make some pass plays, and we just didn't get it clicking. Defense did. I mean, that second half's a solid performance now. Maybe Northwestern's got the lead, take it, but in this day and age, when you talk about last year's game, 21-3, you look at where we were, against Nebraska and all those games. I don't know in this day and age how many leads are safe. Just the way the game's managed, all the spread offense, all the open field, the ebb and flow of games. You get a little too big for your britches. You quit playing hard. If you'll just keep playing hard, you got a chance. There's a lot of football to be played, and plays in the kicking game. So obviously this past week in the Big Ten, plays in the kicking game. There's a lot of plays you can do to stay in games. So that team last year just kept playing. And for the most part, I thought the other day we did. We just can't. We keep. We had 280-ish yards in the second half, holding to 30. We just didn't find the end zone. We just got to find ways to get across the G line and score some touchdowns.
Before the game, there was anything off with their energy, and if so, how do you avoid that going forward?
Yeah, again, like I say, we had them up at 6:30, and the music blaring in the parking lot, and a 45-minute walk through, and thought it was pretty good going in, and just, I think credit to Northwestern. They started with some things. We got on our heels. Our offense didn't execute. Here they come again on our heels. Offense didn't execute, and it just kind of happened quick. Once we settled down, we were good. Credit the guys for settling. I think credit to Northwestern's execution and our lack thereof. And I think our offense's ineptness early really led to the defense getting exposed, because once they could tighten down and get the handle, make their adjustments, they really played, really from about the 10-minute mark of the second quarter on, they played 3 quarters of really good football. And I think, but then the team started playing a little bit. I think initially they got a little rattled. Offense wasn't good. I think that really hurt our defense. We didn't put them in bad situations. We just didn't give them a chance and not catch their breath. Just really, do you understand what I'm saying? Hey, they're lined up here. We want to tweak, because so much of offense and defense is just subtle tweaks. And Coach Allen said going into the game, hey, the key to this game will be Northwestern has a tendency, like a lot of teams, they're going to show you the flavor of the week. And once we get our ability to adjust, understand, and go play. It took us a little bit longer to get there than we needed. And once we got there, offense still needed to score. We had many, many times to score, and we didn't. From the opening drive in the second half, we're down to 20 on 4th down. We throw a crossing route that gets called for -1 against man coverage, where you're trying to run some people through traffic. We had another 4th down where second and third down, we'd run it, don't get it, 4th down boot. We had several chances to leave points on the board. We go for it on 4th down, don't get it. Try a long field goal, don't get it. So that's why we went for 2 when we were down 12, because how many touchdowns we were going to score. We thought get it to a 1-touchdown game. And instead of going to the last, we know right then we needed either 1 or 2 touchdowns, because you can kick, you kick the extra point there, it's 11 point. So you still got to go for 2 sometime. So our thought was, hey, we're not scoring a lot of touchdowns. Let's go for 2 now. Get it to 10. Didn't matter because we didn't score again. Anything else? All right, guys. Have a great one.